Thank you. At this time, then we open this up to public comments from the visitors. State your name and your address.
Candice Keller, 3430 Central Avenue, Middletown. When the higher-ranking civil authority makes unjust or immoral law, mandates, policy, or court opinion, the lower or lesser-ranking civil authority has both the God-given right and duty not to obey the superior authority, and if necessary, to actively resist them. The Butler County Commissioner's Office and now the County Administrator on June 3rd sent out a blanket email to county employees with the following message. The Butler County Commissioner departments will be adopting the guidance provided by CDC and will be lifting the mask requirements for those who are fully vaccinated. Employees who have been fully vaccinated and are 14 days past final dose are no longer expected to wear facial coverings at work or quarantine following exposure to someone with COVID-19. Employees who have not been fully vaccinated are expected to continue to wear facial coverings at work when in common areas or when unable to socially distance and quarantine. I want to be clear that employees will not be asked to reveal their vaccination status to management, but are expected to be honest and adhere to the guidance that is applicable to their own situation. If we learn that any employee was not truthful about their vaccination status, the employee may be subject to discipline depending on the situation. This is completely unlawful. And yet I continue to receive emails, texts, and messages from your employees, those who work for Butler County, and indeed who work inside your own office, that have proven otherwise. One of your staff people sent me this message. My direct supervisor came around to all employees to get a list of everyone who was getting vaccinated. I declined to answer. Then again, it came up again regarding safety protocol for COVID-19. During the incident, the same supervisor stated loudly in the middle of the office that the safety protocol would remain in place. And she named my name out loud as being the one who chose not to get vaccinated. Everyone in the office heard it, and I felt singled out and embarrassed in front of my coworkers. After the supervisor left, a coworker came and asked if the vaccine was required for all employees. They were worried because they had also chosen not to be vaccinated. In May, an email was sent out from upper management to us, the employees, that stated as of June 2nd, those employees who had been completely vaccinated would no longer be required to wear a mask in the building. Otherwise, they would have to continue to wear a mask and socially distance. I have been bullied, I believe, in front of my coworkers because of a personal health decision. I've been treated differently because of a choice that I made in regard to my health, and that should have been private between me and my doctor. Is this not discrimination? Do I no longer have the right to keep my medical history private? I'm very concerned, and as an employee of the Butler County Commissioners, I need these questions answered. Another letter came to me from a Butler County employee that stated, my supervisor came to my desk on June 9th and said you have to wear a mask. I said, it does not say that in the email. This conversation was recorded. She said, you have to have the shot. I replied, the email said I would not be asked that question. Then she responded, if you've had the shot, you're more of a risk to me since I have not had the virus. I said, I read the email and I understand everything it says, so I'm doing what I need to do according to the instructions in the email. She said, we all need to wear a mask because some people coming back are scared. I said, that's not what the email said. And then she said, let's get off this right now. There are a number of other messages sent to me by your staff and coworkers here in Butler County offices. The law says that government officials and their agents who impose COVID-19, quote, vaccinations, can be held liable for violating federal law if they force or coerce anyone to submit to an experimental medical treatment. Personal health decisions are a God-given, unalienable right that cannot be taken away by federal, state, or local government. COVID-19 vaccinations have not gone through the FDA approval process. They have been authorized for emergency use only. Pursuant to the FDA 21 U.S. Code Section 360b3, medical products which have not been granted for immediate use and for emergency use only cannot be made compulsory. Such products can only be administered in a voluntary fashion and only after fully informed consent. Thus, mandates of an experimental, quote, vaccination or the use of any pressure or coercion to submit them violates federal law. Unless employees are provided full freedom of choice without any threat of consequences, businesses of any kind, including all governmental offices and office holders, are liable for damages caused by experimental vaccinations. Following our meeting of May 17th, you refused to answer questions given to you by the citizens who appeared in these chambers. We each take off work and hire babysitters, hire caregivers for our elderly parents to attend these meetings, and yet you did not have the courtesy to answer our questions. Yet only a few minutes after the meeting adjourned, Commissioners Rogers and Carpenter met with us in the outer hallway, away from public cameras and off the record. Only then were you willing to engage in conversation with us and answer questions we had asked only minutes earlier. Was it because you were not exposed to further public scrutiny and media coverage? You, Commissioner Carpenter, stated that you are not a magistrate and that we should seek change from someone in higher office. Your response shocked the attenders of that meeting due to your woeful lack of understanding of what a magistrate actually is and what your duties are as a commissioner. A magistrate is any lesser office holder under senior rule that can change law by ordinance or resolution or law using the authority given to you by the election. Both the private citizen argument and the doctrine of the lesser magistrates were used in the United States Declaration of Independence to justify resistance against tyranny. We are living in such a time where our national leaders are not listening to us. Our local office holders are unreachable, and therefore we are approaching the lesser magistrates, which is you. You have the power to enact an ordinance opening Butler County, ignoring ridiculous mask mandates, illegal vaccination requirements, and violation of right to privacy, and you're continuing to refuse to act. We will continue to be here weekly as you press on with what we can now only view as ignoring what we are asking you to do. We have asked for action, and you're refusing to follow the law. Your county policies of requiring personal health information is an enormous violation of personal rights and invades private liberty given to us by God and not by you, the state, or the federal government. At our second meeting here, I delivered a book to you called The Doctrine of the Lesser Magistrates. I have seen no change in county policy that will be helpful to the citizens of Butler County. You have the power to change our present situation and our future economic security here, which is precarious at best. Several county legislative bodies have done what I'm asking you to do, and we are asking you again to consider it. By continuing to work against Butler Countyans, are you aware that you're openly declaring you're violating your oath to uphold the Constitution? If so, you are stating that you are willfully disobeying the law, not only with illegal mask mandates, but now in outrageously requiring personal health and vaccination information from your own people.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Anything.